Welcome back to the big club. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about some of the rituals, the gay rituals of Hollywood, They'll tell you it is just rumors, they will laugh it off and brand it as a wild conspiracy theory. But the people who've been inside, the ones who have tasted the fame, walked into the parties, seen behind the curtain, they say something different. They say there's a price for fame. And sometimes that price is your soul or your manhood. Let's talk about the gay rituals of Hollywood, not from a place of hate, but from a place of exposure. Because what we're talking about isn't just sexuality. We're talking about power, we're talking about submission, control, ritual humiliation. This isn't about being gay, it's about being broken publicly or privately so that you can be controlled for life. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the price for fame, for wealth. Now let's get something straight. These freak off parties that happen, these aren't just parties. These are initiation rites. According to whistleblowers, insiders, and even some mainstream entertainers, these secret events are where the real deals are made. Not with contracts, but with humiliation. Some of the most repeated claims male artists being coerced into sexual acts with older industry execs. To put it plainly, you are going to get your booty hole eaten. Older men who've been in the industry much longer than you, they're gonna eat your booty hole. That's the price of fame. All of these rappers, all of these famous rappers, they got their booty hole eaten. All of these famous musicians, they got their booty hole eaten. Especially if you're a man. I'm not sure exactly what the price is for females, but it's probably something similar. They will record you when that's happening, so they can use that footage as blackmail. You will be publicly emasculated. You will be forced to cross-dress or perform degrading sexual skits. This isn't random, this is ritualistic. These acts are allegedly used to destroy pride, create dependency, test loyalty, and most importantly, create leverage. Because imagine when they ask you to do something and you don't want to do it, they'll say, okay, maybe we can just show your kids this footage of you in a threesome with two men, licking each other's objects. Now, why would they want to humiliate these men? Some of you might ask. Well, because humiliation is the fastest way to break someone psychologically. Strip a man of his dignity in front of people he wants respect from, and you own him. This is ancient. In old cult initiations, soldiers or acolytes were degraded, humiliated, or violated to break their ego. You become a blank slate. You're much easier to manipulate, you're much easier to control. Now, translate that to the Hollywood machine. If a man wants access to money, fame, global recognition, he must be spiritually inverted. He must do something that he would have once said never to. Because once you do the unthinkable, Once you sell your soul, selling your morals, they own you. And plenty of people have said it, Dave Chappelle said it, Cat Williams said it, you know. They've all been through this, even Kevin Hart. Is the idea that in order to really break into that next level, you must be emasculated because it is symbolic. It's an inversion ritual. It's a stripping of power. Dave Chappelle said that they offered him a dress on a movie set, and when he refused, they acted like he was the problem. He walked away from $50 million because he realized he was being asked to sacrifice something more valuable than money. But Dave Chappelle is still rich, isn't he? He's still getting these Netflix gigs, isn't he? So he might have given up that booty hole in secret. Maybe he might. He might. But I think he did. Because he's still relevant, he's still famous, and we know that when you don't want to do what these people ask from you, they're going to cut you off. You're not going to get these big gigs. You're not going to get millions of dollars. But Dave Chappelle is freaking rich. So what does that tell you? In secret, he might have gotten his booty hole eaten. Remember, there are private rituals and public rituals. So the dress isn't just a joke. It's a test. I remember Kid Cudi wore the dress. Playboy Cardi, Lil Uzi Vert, all of these rappers. They've done homosexual things. Nothing wrong with being homosexual, but that goes to show you something. Now, let's talk about the after parties. The after parties where phones are taken, the guests are handpicked, drugs and alcohol are flowing, and behind the scenes, cameras are quietly rolling. Some claim that these young up-and-coming artists are introduced to these executives in private rooms, and what happens there gets filmed, not just for pleasure, but again, for leverage. It's the same model used in elite political circles. Compromise someone early, record it, then use it forever to control them. So these big artists are not scared of cancel culture. They're scared of what their handlers might release about them. Let's talk about Diddy. This is exactly what happened to Diddy. This is why we know what we know about Puff Diddy. Because he might have refused to do something, or he didn't listen to the higher powers above him, and they took him down. What most people don't understand is that this isn't just physical or psychological. This is spiritual. These rituals are inversion rituals used in the occult to flip natural order. Masculine becomes feminine. What is sacred now becomes profane. Strength now becomes submission. These acts are believed to bind the initiate spirit to the elite system. You don't just sell your body, you sell your energy, your dignity, your connection to the higher self. That's why so many artists lose themselves after they make it. Why? Because they change. The light in their eyes fades because they didn't just join the industry, they joined a cult of control. Some of this sounds crazy, but ask yourself, why do so many successful people suddenly speak out and then disappear? Because when you speak truth in a place built on secrets, they erase you. The rituals aren't rumors, and once you walk through them, you either become a puppet or you become a problem. This is what happens. This is what most of your favorite influencers, favorite artists, favorite actors, this is what they had to do in order to make it. See you on the next one.